Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session, the Department of Family Medicine and Primary Care Professional Learning session that's hosted in conjunction with the Center for Health Science Education. So today's session is going to focus on creating an introduction video for your Ulwazi course, also focusing on some tips and tricks, why it's important, and demonstrating some of the software that you can use, and that's about it. So today's session is hosted by myself, Janus van As, and Kate the Brain, who's actually not with us, but she created videos about her sections, which are really nice. I think you're going to enjoy sections. And then the next person is Tshehetso Montso, and Kate and Tshehetso is interns in the Department of Family Medicine, and I am an academic coordinator in the department. Okay, so today's agenda is around introduction, importance of creating video, show some example of a good introduction video, overview of software that can be used to create a video, demonstration of the software, and then tips and tricks, including do's and don'ts, and then some time for questions. Okay, so the first part is, what is the introduction video? So it is a 1 to 3 minute video where the facilitator introduces himself to the students by sharing information about the course, about the educational background, and the whole idea with this is to get them interested in the course. So that normally goes on the homepage, and I'll show you an example of that. So why is it important? So students may find it challenging to connect with their instructor in an online learning environment. Now, one of the things that we've realized last year and this year with COVID is getting students engaged in the online space, because they don't, there's not that face-to-face connection. So you sort of have to do a lot of different things to try and create an environment where they feel connected, and so between you and the students, but also between students and students. And there's lots of activities that you can do in the beginning of the course, so like a value affirmation survey, or students introducing themselves, and if they show vulnerability, for example. So what we're doing with one of our courses is talking about your online learning fears, and then sharing that with a group to sort of create that connection. But the first thing they will see is the video that you have on the home page of the course. So there you can see your introduction video can humanize the online experience for all students, and you can help students realize that the instructor is a real person with enthusiasm for the subject matter. So the main aims of the introduction video is to get students excited about the course. It creates a positive first impression, as you are showing that you are engaged and eager for the year and so forth. It also, what's also nice is if you bring a bit of your personality into the video. So personalize your online course, then establish relationships in order to create a learning community, build rapport with students, set the tone for the rest of the course, opens up communication between yourself and the students. And the other important thing is that it's used to create a safe space for learning. So it already establishes that to show, because you're showing vulnerability in terms of, having a video showing your face. Because the important thing about an introduction video is that it's also that it should be a video showing you, and not just a voice over PowerPoint. So to get students to know you a bit better, and that's where you are going to include something about yourself. So like whether you're adventurous and do rock climbing, or, it's sort of good to bring in a bit of personal touch into your video, and it shows that you're prepared. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples of the videos that we've created, and then some really great examples that I found on the internet. Because there's lots of different ways that you can create this video. There's not just one way or one approach that's the correct one. So this is a more formal video.
Hello and welcome to your third and final year of Health System Sciences. I'm your course coordinator, Dr. Katanya Patha. HSS is one of two majors you'll be taking this year in completion of your Bachelor of Health Sciences.
So we created that video with BigView, which is a teleprompter app that you can use on your phone, which I'll also just quickly show you a bit later on. Then a bit more of a different video, which sets the context for the course.
And preserves the history of health sciences. I am here at the Adler Museum of Medicine at Wits Medical School. This museum is testament to the ever-changing nature of health and preserves the history of health sciences in Southern Africa. Health systems are by their very nature.
Okay, so you get the idea. So that one, for example, uses the museum as an introduction and context for setting the scene for the course. And I think that's sort of a nice, introduction. Then there's this video, which...
Good morning, beginning acting students. By now, I'm sure you're all aware that due to the pandemic, campus is closed and all face-to-face courses are happening online, at least for the next 2 weeks. So, how do you teach an acting course online? That's a good question, and one I'm still working on figuring out.
Hey, Dad, I can't get the Wi-Fi to work.
But one thing I have figured out is working from home can have its challenges. And we're all affected by it in different ways. So for as long as we're doing this course online, it's going to be asynchronous, which means we won't have a regular meeting time, but all your assignments will be due each week by Sunday at midnight. Oh, God. I hope to have this week's materials posted before the end of the day, but honestly, it might be tomorrow. We're going to get through this, everybody. Good luck.
And then this one, which is it's an introduction on the course and not an introduction to the course video, but it was created with Adobe Spark. Prof. Cook created the video for the facilitating online course, and I thought it's a very nice example of showing your personality in the course coming through. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of this.
Hi colleagues, my name's Richard Cook, and this is my introduction. Delighted to see and hear all the interesting things that you have presented in your introductions. So in that vein, this is not me pushing the limits of human endurance and achievement, and neither is this. Neither the guy in the front having a good time, nor, particularly sadly, the guy at the back as the rock star on the stage. And, dear colleagues, I leave this to others. Boiled egg, baked beans on toast, that's my limit. But then, I do work hard. Sure, a poor excuse for not having any hobbies, I guess. And I'm happy to be working so hard. Faculty of Health Sciences, University of the Witwatersrand. I consider myself fortunate and privileged to be here. My career started with a good 5-6 years of working in an office in Sandton. Quite a privileged and elitist bubble of existence. And I switched to studying medicine. And now, after a good nearly 25 years now in the medical game, here I find myself having been here for the last, 6 or 7 years now with the Faculty of Health Sciences. Very fortunate to be working with a wonderful team here, and of course very happy to be joining you all on the course.
So yeah, as you can see, that sort of with that video, you can get to know your instructor quite well. So I think that's for me a really cool introduction video. Okay, so I'm going to stop.
Hi colleagues, my name's Richard.
And just ask you whether you have any experience with creating introduction videos, and what in terms of these videos that you like, and yeah, suggestions that you might have. you can raise your hand to speak as well. Yes, Shira.
Janus, hi. I just want to say it's really fun looking at what other people start off with as their intro videos. But one tip that maybe is quite useful is not to actually date your video and say, this is the 2021 class of SCMD, whatever it is, because you can actually start recycling videos once you start getting better at them. So, so it's not great to date your video and then you can't use it again.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think I agree with you. As you go through, you know, your curriculum iterations every year, you can add more and more videos if you didn't date it for that year. So thanks for that. Any other question, comments, or feedback? Yes, Catherine.
Oh, thank you so much. Just following on from what Shira said about dating, gosh, that was a useful tip, which I wish I had taken on board a few times, and maybe some of my colleagues will agree. But another thought that I've often had when I'm in the middle of this is, how am I going to find a way to integrate this video that I'm making into some kind of a live forum that I want to have? So I'm building up with these 3 videos to this online tutorial, or I'm building up towards this live class that we're going to try and run on a particular platform. How do you build that component in, especially given that we're so used to YouTube's where there's no form of interaction? I mean, to my knowledge, there's no way that, I mean, you can like a YouTube or not like it, but as far as I know, there's no way in which you can interpolate yourself into that. So when we think of that interaction aspect, is there a piece of technology that we can be thoughtful about to help us have that cycle, so that we say, here's a sticky place in the video where you could insert your little mini video into here, or something like that, something I can't imagine because I'm not technologically sophisticated enough.
Okay, thanks for that, Catherine. Okay, so the one nice thing about having Ulwazi is that the university also got Ulwazi Studio or Canvas Studio with it. And Canvas Studio, so Tshehetso is going to showcase how to use that very quickly. But you can record your video, and then there's a comment section built around that that you can use, and you can also embed a quiz, so you can actually stop the video and have a quiz in the integrated into the video. In terms of action, so I haven't played around with all the functionalities yet, but I just know that it can allow for comments like a YouTube feed below a video, and that you can embed quizzes in that. Shira, am I missing any functionalities out on Studio?
No, what's really nice about embedding the quiz questions, though, is that it makes students have to go through the video, because if they try and click out of the video before they've answered all the questions, it tells you still have things to submit. So it's one of the ways, if you've made a boring video, that the students have to go through to the end, which is quite a nice way to help the interaction, I think.
Did I see your hand was up? Did you just want to ask that question, or did you have another comment as well?
No, that was my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. Yes, we are going to show you some software, and I will also share the presentation after which which have a link to the software. Okay, so let's continue. Sorry. Just another question. Were you able to hear my audio? Because I did share it, and I just saw a video or a notice to say that I couldn't share my system audio. So for the videos, could you hear what I... okay, great. Thanks. Okay. Why did it go so... Sorry. Okay, so here's a list of some of the software that you can use. There's Prezi Video, which I personally like, because what Prezi Video does is it creates, you can easily add artifacts to the side of your video.
And I'm here to share with you all 4 key tips to be successful in our course. It's important to me, but all of your instructors in your
so you can have create videos with a presentation running on the side, or have different types of artifacts running down, and it's fairly simple to use. Then you can embed it in Ulwazi. The next one is Adobe Spark, which I'm not really going to go over, but you can, that's what Prof. Cook used to create his video, using different slides and recording the video and then just editing it in Adobe Spark. And there's lots of courses. It's first of all a very easy software to use. And secondly, there's a lot of tutorial videos that you can find on using it. You can use it, as you can see, on your phone, your computer, and on tablet, and it's free. Prezi is also available for free. Ulwazi Studio, so that's what Tshehetso is going to show you now, and then big PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, and then Big View. So I'm now going to hand over to Tshehetso, sorry, so that he can take you through how to use Ulwazi Studio to create a video. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you've had a pleasant day. So I'm here to... Hi. So I'm here to share with everyone today on how to basically use Ulwazi for creating and both uploading your introduction videos. I don't know if, can anyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So if on your Ulwazi profile and the site, and this is the main interface, you will click on Studio. Now, if you have uploaded certain videos on Ulwazi, then they will immediately pop up, and they are there to be accessed, to be viewed by both you and the students. Now, if you want to record a video, you can simply click on, if you want to add a video, you can simply click here. You can paste a URL code from YouTube. That's if you've uploaded your video onto YouTube. Or you can simply click here, browse for a file. That's if you've recorded either on your phone or an existing video that you have recorded on any other platform, and it's now a file and you want to add it. So that's how you add to the site. Now I'm quickly going to show you how to record a video, and also how to use Teleprompter as a way to create or write a script. And if you click on play, then it will act as a script for you, but also you can increase the pace in which you want to speak, so that whenever the words appear and you record the video, then you can adjust accordingly. So you simply click play, And if you go here to studio and you record, you click on webcam, and I'm going to introduce myself. So hello, my name is Tshehetso Montso, and I'll be your illustrative design instructor. And if I'm not in the classroom, I am creating and collecting comic books, and I'm customizing sneakers. I'm here to, sorry, as a teacher and as an instructor, my aim is to show you the student, or give you my scope and experience into the design, bring that to the learning environment. And if that is the information, simply after recording this video, you click on first start recording, and then you will say what is on the script. And then once the video is finished, you click on finish, or you can start over if you perhaps feel like you haven't made a proper video, or you want to change it, or you're not happy with it. And then if you're happy with everything, and then you can click on finish and save media, and it will immediately show up on your screen. And if you click onto the video, you will see this user interface on your screen. Now below, it's supposed to show a section here where you can, where it shows if where students and you or yourself or any other person who wants to add comments, replies, and give feedback either on the content that was present in the video, and just have that interaction between you and students beneath your upload video. So all the comments and replies, or anything that has to do with the content of the video or the information within that video, can be saved onto the replies and comments, and therefore each video will have its own discussion or recorded discussion beneath that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tshehetso. So from here, as he mentioned, the comments and so forth section would be seen under the video, but from there you can then embed it into your courses in Ulwazi. However, we're not going to focus on that today. There is additional training from the CLTD about how to use Ulwazi Studio to create videos and embed that in your courses, and adding the question marks, the questions to the videos and so forth. Okay, let me just quickly share my screen again. Complete video. Okay. So the next section is PowerPoint, and this is the section that Kate created. So I'm just going to show the video. If you can't hear it, just let me know.
So I'm going to be showing you how to create a video using PowerPoint. I'm going to be showing you quite a straightforward version of it. There is actually quite a lot that you can do, but I don't want to get into the depth of it. I thought maybe I'll just highlight things that are quite useful and ways to go about it. Hopefully you guys are familiar with PowerPoint already in terms of how to use animations and everything like that. If not, just YouTube is your best friend. It has so many videos and tutorials on anything. That's literally how I learned how to make this video. So the reason why I just wanted to bring up animations is because you can actually use them while you record. And I'm going to show you how that works right now. So I'm going to go slides that I want to keep. So that works right now. So I'm going to go into Slideshow. At the top here, it's right next to animations. And in Slideshow, we have something called Record Slideshow. There's a drop-down menu that says record from current or beginning. I'm going to go from current because I have videos in my other slides that I want to keep. So I'm going to say from current, and what you're going to see is my webcam is going to pop up there. And that's me. Hi. So basically what I'm going to do now is show you how to record this and use your animations. It's basically the exact same as a presentation where you just click. You just have to remember when you want to click and do your video with that. So I'm going to begin recording. It's going to count me down. And we are recording. So if I click, I have my first title there, using PowerPoint to create videos. Click again, and all of my animations happen while I'm speaking. As long as I just know that I'm clicking in the background, it's really easy to use. You can do this for what you are presenting on your screen. Maybe you have diagrams or something that you want to talk about where information comes as you go. Where you click this arrow here, it just means that you can go over onto the next slide and just continue recording. It's a fluid thing, so you don't need to worry about your recording cutting. And when you export it as a video, it runs completely through. It's quite amazing and awesome. And if you have this slide ready with animations, then again, all you have to do is just click and go for it. So I'm going to hit stop. And I'm going to go to the previous slide, and I'm going to hit replay. And we are recording. So if I click, I have my first title there, using PowerPoint to create videos. Click again, and all of my animations happen while I'm speaking. So the replay option shows us that we can listen to what we've just recorded, which is pretty great. Then to exit this, you just can either hit escape or close. And yeah, now we are back to our slide. You can see there is our video there in the corner. And on our next slide, there was the video there. I don't particularly want this video on the slide, so I'm going to delete it, because this slide is about editing your videos on your phone beforehand. I also mentioned here that PowerPoint has limited video editing capabilities, but they are available. So if you go into video format at the top here, you can add some effects, you can add borders and whatnot, and drop shadow or something like that. But it's quite hard to cut your video. So basically manipulating your time frames, which I'm going to click play now and show you guys what I mean by that. So slideshow, and I'm going to click from current slide. So most cell phones do give you the ability to edit a video. So what you can do is go into edit. You'll see how basically at the beginning of this video, I am sitting down, getting ready, and that's not necessarily what you need in the video. So I'm going to pause there. That was me counting myself down. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to use this cut feature, which is the first feature there. I'm going to go to a part where I know that that's where I started. I messed up here, so I did a countdown again, and I probably started around here. So on my phone, my feature is cut, so I'm going to put cut there. I'm going to select all the video that was before that and delete it because I don't need it. So I'm basically starting straight from here. Then I go all the way to the end. I know that that's part of the video. I rehearsed it, so that also makes it a lot easier. Still going all the way to the end. And this is me ending off in a very awkward smile. This is where my video ends. You can see that the rest of the video is just me getting up to turn the camera off. This is also something that I can just cut out. So I go to the frame where you can see it's my final smile before I get up. And I'm going to cut there as well. Click on the rest of the video, delete that. This will save as a copy, so don't worry about overwriting your video most of the time, but just keep that in mind when saving. And you might get the option of the resolution. Try keep it to a higher resolution. It's better quality. This is obviously if your phone has this option. So that is editing videos on your phone so that you can immediately just drag them in like what I did here. I had this video ready to go in my folder for this video that I'm creating, this PowerPoint video that I'm creating. Literally just dragged it straight into here. You can see it pops up, and that's how I moved it across. Quite simple, quite easy. It's just, it takes a bit of playing around and practice, but soon you'll get the gist of it. So on to the next slide. I wanted to show you guys how creative you could get with these videos. It can get quite fun if you just give yourself some time to experiment. So this is what I did for this one video to show you guys that you can have a video here playing and speak about it as well at the same time. So I'm going to again play from current slide. So what I wanted to see here was if I could create a video in PowerPoint and talk over that video while it's happening as well. That was like my main kind of goal.
I'm in the PowerPoint video right now, though, right?
Yeah, no, you are. I just needed to use.
Oh no, I thought I was doing tips and tricks.
Yeah, no, you are. Most definitely. I just wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, no, fine. You put me a little bit on the spot here.
Sorry, no, don't worry. You're doing great. You really. What are you doing?
I'm trying to just act natural.
Okay. Let's stop there then. Don't worry about it. So that's just something fun that you can do. That was basically me just rehearsing that and keeping in mind the timing of it. I actually didn't use any video editing other than cropping or cutting the frame of my video like I had done in the previous slide to show you. What I want to move on to now is adding animations on top of your video, which I was really excited about this because it's really, really cool that you can do this during your video. So how this works is I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to insert a text box here. Let me also just delete that too. I'm going to insert a text box here. And there's a point in this video where I look confused. Oop, confused. Okay. Confused. All right, so we have our text box, and if we go into animations, then we can add an animation to it. I'm going to add appear. So now we see that there's a little number 2. This is a number 1. What that just means is that we can go to here where it says start, duration, and delay, and we can click our drop-down menu and say with previous. That means it's going to start with this video. And the reason why this is important is because now in this video, we know that I get confused at about there, which is 7.67 seconds. So I'm going to go here, and on the delay, I'm going to say 7.67 seconds, and that is going to allow me to have this text box pop up at that point. So I'm going to go to Slideshow from current slide. So what I wanted to see here was if I could create a video in PowerPoint and talk over that video while it's happening as well. That was like my main kind of goal.
I'm in the PowerPoint video right now.
So you can see there that it popped up when I wanted it to pop up. So we can also do this with images. So if you have graphs or tables or diagrams, you can literally put your image right onto the slide, adjust it however you want. I'm going to put mine over there. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this animate as well. I think I'm going to have this fly in. And now I want this again to start with the previous, but now I want this to start from when I start smiling, which is about there, 28:87. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to say 28:87, hit enter. And that should start that animation at 28:87 seconds into the slide itself. So we can double check that and go from current slide. Walk over that video while it's happening as well. That was like my main kind of goal.
I'm in the PowerPoint video right now, though, right?
Yeah, no, you are. I just needed to use.
Oh no, I thought I was doing tips and tricks.
Yeah, no, you are. Most definitely. I just wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, no, fine. You put me a little bit on the spot here.
Sorry, no, don't worry. You're doing great. You really. What are you doing?
I'm trying to just act natural.
Okay, let's stop there then. Don't worry about it. So that is how we can have images pop up onto the screen while we are recording. Another thing is that we can actually move ourselves around here. So if maybe you want yourself a little bit bigger, or you maybe wanted yourself on the other side of the screen, you literally can just click on the video and move it around. Another thing that's also pretty great is if we go into design and we go into design ideas here at the top right corner, you would want to do this before you add in everything. So I'm just going to go to basically a new slide. And what happens in design, and here at the top right corner, we have design ideas, is you can click that and it will generate basically templates that you can organize your video into. So here we have a whole bunch of different orientations, and it's quite awesome that this is just such a quick and easy thing. So we don't really have to worry about our design choices, but it's just something that I wanted to show you guys so that you don't really have to worry about organizing your information. You can just go straight into a template. I've lost that video now. All right, it's fine, no stress. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is how to export your video. You're going to go to File, and instead of going to Save As, we're going to go to Export. It has an option there that says Create Video, and we have some options here as well. This is basically our resolution option. We can choose 4K, 1080p, 720, 480. 720 is going to give you, like it says, moderate quality and a medium file size. You probably can go for 1080. That's usually the recommended viewing quality. So we're going to do that one. But if you would like your file size to be smaller, then go for the 720. Ulwazi has a 500 megabyte upload limit, I think. So just keep that in mind when creating your videos. Then over here, we have options to say don't use recorded timings and narrations, but we do want to use our recorded timings and narration. So let's just keep it on this option here. Don't worry about the seconds here spent on each slide. Just go to create video. You're going to save this into the file that you want, name it however you want, and just say save. As long as you've got the MP4 file extension there, you are good. Then you're going to see here that it is exporting. So this takes quite a while. You just have to wait for it. And yeah, as soon as it's done, you have your video ready to go. So I now have this video ready to go. It's over here. And when I click on it, it plays throughout just how I want it to. Cool. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope that you learned something and this was
sorry.
Wasn't too tedious. The best thing to do is to just play around, experiment, watch YouTube videos, and familiarize yourself with everything that you can do. Good luck and enjoy the rest of the presentation. We've got some really cool things to show you.
Okay, right. I'm going to quickly stop there for a second to check in, see if there's any questions. Okay, so one important thing that Kate mentioned is that she mentioned the HD quality. When we create videos, obviously we need to be considerate for student bandwidth. So the lower quality would be better, as that would result in a smaller file size. But yeah, as you saw with having a conversation with herself and so forth, that could also be a very interesting idea for introduction video, or you can have you speaking with artifacts moving across about the structure of the course and so forth. So the next one I'm going to focus on is Microsoft Teams. All of us are used to making videos with Microsoft Teams. So basically, you start with create a meeting link specifically for this, or use a previous meeting link. So if you already had a scheduled meeting somewhere, you can do it in that. Just make sure that you're the only one in the meeting room. So if you look at that HSS3 check-in, that's basically what I used for the video. You can also do this on your phone, and there's two ways that you can do it. You can either use a teleprompter. So if you have a script, I do think it's good to have a script for the introduction video. It just helps you to remember what to say, and also pace you and so forth. And then you just click record. So what I did with the Teams video is that you just add your script to the chat or to the meeting notes, and then you can read it from that, or you can open a teleprompter on your computer. Then click record. Once you're done, stop the recording and then edit on stream. So that's where you just trim the before and after of the video, which you can then upload to Ulwazi. The main reason why you would do this a bit differently, or do this over using Ulwazi Studio, is the fact that Ulwazi doesn't have an editing option to trim the videos and so forth. But yeah, then you still upload that there. Okay. Then the next one that I use the most is I bought a cheap ring light, which so it's these LED ring lights that you buy on Takealot for about between 200 and 400 Rand for one. And just so that you have good lighting, and then you can add this to, then I add Big View to my phone and I record using that. It allows you, unfortunately, it doesn't allow you like unlimited recordings in a month, but I think you can use it to make about 3 to 4 recordings in a month if you use the free version. And then you just download it to your phone. I normally upload it to Google Drive. I have professional editing software which I use it, but there is a little bit of editing software on the phone on the app as well. So as you can see, it just creates the what you're reading out over what you're recording. It's very, very simple. You literally just click add text, and so you click on create new, then you add your script that you want, and then you start recording, and then afterwards you just save the file to your phone. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so these are basically the software that we suggest. Ulwazi Studio, PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, or Big View. I'm going to stop there before I go to tips and tricks to just see whether there's any questions. Yes, Charlene.
I just actually wanted to say thanks, Kate, for that video in a video, because it was much easier than me trying to download some of these other software stuff where I was watching how to duplicate yourself and having conversations with yourself. This is far, far easier. So thanks for that.
It's a pleasure. Well, I'll thank her. I also thought it was very, very innovative. Any other questions or comments before I move on to the tips and tricks? Okay, right. So let me just move on to that. Okay, keep it short and engaging. Don't do it more than like 1 to 3 minutes. At the most 5 minutes. But the ideal is to have a short video between 1 and 3 minutes. Show your personality, like you know, what Prof. Cook did with his video or whatever you want to do, but it's great to sort of that really personalizes the experience, dispel fears about the online learning environment, show excitement about your course. That's quite important, because this is the way that you get students enthused, because this is the introduction video. So it's quite important to do that. Tell your students how to be successful in the course, give a taster or spark for the course. I will also share with you sort of a few introduction video templates that I found that you can sort of use to adapt to create the courses. So some of the additional information, can somebody switch off the microphone? Then you can include your expectations for behavior and participation. So these are just additional things that you could include, not necessarily the first parts are more important. Include special instructions or requirements, list your availability and communication expectations, let them know that questions and concerns are welcomed. Remind students that you are not tech support, but direct them to it. So these are recommendations I took from a lot of sources. I wouldn't really include that, maybe in a later video, but not in the introduction, but that was one of the suggestions they mentioned. Show students exactly how to get started in the course. I think that's very important. So the last part of your introduction video is to say, okay, move on to, click on navigating this course to start your module, and then also have a link to that in the course. Okay, so let's quickly do Kate's tips and tricks video, which is that one.
Today I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks on how to make good introduction videos, but also how to improve your videos that you'll make in the future. Tip number 1. Always make sure that you've closed all windows, all doors. Try to switch off computers, anything around you that can make noise. Which leads us into tip number 2. Using headphones like these can be really helpful because of the mic that they have. You can also use earphones that have a mic. Tip number 3, try to always record indoors. Outdoors will lead to that background noise, but if you are recording outdoors, then definitely try use headphones with a mic. Tip number 4 is about using your phone's back camera. If you're recording on your phone and your phone has a front camera and a back camera, try use the back camera. It's going to give you a better quality. You may not see much of it now, but there is a slight difference, especially when you're recording in dark spaces. Another thing is that recording on a front camera puts you at risk of you looking at yourself the whole entire time and not at the audience. Tip 5. Always try to record in the daytime. It's going to help you get the most natural light, which is going to give you the most clarity on your videos. Try to never sit with a window or a light behind you, as this will affect your camera's exposure. If you are recording at nighttime, again, try not have a light on behind you. If it works, you can use the flash from your phone's camera. Use this as well as your ceiling light to illuminate yourself. If you have a good table lamp, you can turn your ceiling light off and use that. Just make sure that it's facing you and not behind you. Tip number 6. You don't particularly need a phone stand or apparatus to hold your phone up while you record. This entire video was recorded on a Stephen King book and a bottle of water. I'm going to use this opportunity to quickly bring up another tip. Always make sure that any filters or beauty settings are completely off. It's going to change the resolution and the quality of your video. It's not necessary. Plus, you're already beautiful enough. Now, back to the resolution. I'm going to go into settings to show you what it means to change the resolution of your video. If your phone has this ability, all you need to do is go into video resolution and click which one you'll prefer. 720 is going to give you a smaller file size, which might be more beneficial, but 1080p is recommended. Majority of these tips and tricks can be applied to your webcam recordings as well. I hope that these were helpful and that you learned something new.
Okay, and then just the last part is what doesn't belong in a welcome video is course times and meeting places, university rules, plagiarism and etiquette guidelines, all your contact information, the assessment policy, specific assignment list, and important due dates. So we have done, we've gone through most of this, and additional videos that you can consider making. So your teaching approach for the course. So you have an introduction video, and then additional video would be on how you're planning to teach students. So sharing your teaching philosophy with them, and sort of talking about your approach to being student-centered and so forth. That gives them a, that creates more cohesion as well. And then overview of assignments and projects. So talking through assignments is a great way to explain, to create explainer videos for assignments or projects that they have to do. So everything that you cannot put in a document for students, and normally, as you're, like most of you are aware, students sometimes misunderstand the assessment guidelines and so forth. So by creating an overview video can help you with that, and then your expectations for students. And then, that's it. So I will now stop again and welcome some questions for the last 8 minutes. Yes, Dee.
So Kate made this said use the back camera, because we in physiology, my colleague and I, Grace and I, we do online tutorials with our students, okay, and I have myself available talking to them directly, not disembodied.
Yes.
Just words. So, but I constantly do find myself looking down at myself, and not. So I'm using my laptop screen. I don't even know where the camera is on this bloody laptop screen. Excuse my language. But so what? How do I get that right?
Oh, that's so I think on a laptop, it is difficult not to look at you. What I would suggest is when you're in a Teams call, for example, you can move away from having the Teams screen, so you can just be on a Google Chrome page or something to not look at yourself. I think that the main thing with that is more for the videos that you make that goes onto your online course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not for when you have a Teams call and so forth. It's mainly for making the videos that you put on your course.
Okay, because one of the biggest complaints we've heard from students is that they never see the human. They hear the human and they see the slides, but they don't see the human. So that's why I have myself there.
So I agree with you, and this is part of why the introduction video is so important, is to create that to have that human element in the course. And I do think, unfortunately, we're in an environment where we have to consider student data constraints. And that's one of the nice things about Team, for example, that students that do struggle with data can click on the 3 dots and turn off incoming video streams, which means that they only hear voice. And then those that do want to see the instructor can do so. But I do think it's valuable to to normally start a session by having your video on just as an introduction, and then move off to to switch it off. So Shira asked, does anyone have any real life stories about making an intro video for students? Yes, please do share if you have, if you've got experience with this. Any other questions, comments before we close? I see Charlene, did you want to say something?
Yeah, so mine was really not a recording of myself last year. So what I did is I played around on Beyond with introductory video, which was animated, and kind of animated myself, kind of got the character to look a lot like me, and then animated the introduction video. So yeah, that.
Cool, thanks for that. That also reminds me about, you can use something like an avatar that sort of looks like you. And part of what we do with HSS is that Apple's got memoticons, which, that characters that you create that looks very similar to you. And to create that a bit of connectedness still, we try to use memoticons throughout the course to say, please note this. And then there's a image of Catania guiding them through that, or and so forth. I see Stephen's got his hand up.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I was a little bit late in joining, but just in terms of scripting your video, I think that's a really important lesson I learned. And just in order to keep it short and succinct, but also I did a video with a huge team of people from CLTD. It was like really fantastic. We set ourselves up in a great space, and it was a whole lot of time and energy that went into it. And I realized that some of the content I was using was too detailed, and the next year the course had shifted a little bit, and that video was no longer really that relevant. Well, it was relevant, but there were things that I wanted to change. So sometimes I think with this kind of intro video, you also have to give yourself that flexibility to keep it broad enough to create that point of interest, and also to keep it short enough so that you don't feel you've invested a huge amount of time and you can't necessarily quickly change things.
Thanks, Stephen. I think that's very valuable. I actually have showed them your intro video in the museum. So that was the one that was created, and which we realized. So, for example, Stephen was the HSS1 coordinator, and I became the HSS1 coordinator the year after, which meant that the video had to be redone. So we haven't done it yet, but so that's what was Shira's tip in terms of trying to keep some information generic, like the date and so forth, could be very valuable, that you don't reuse something. Unfortunately, yeah, having a course coordinator change you would have to redo the video. I see Shira mentioned something about, Shira, did you quickly want to speak to that?
Yeah, I don't want to cause information overload. You've given us so much to think about today, and I'm going to go away and practice with new stuff. But when Charlene was talking about making an avatar, just to say that Flipgrid has now integrated Bitmoji into itself. So anytime you set a Flipgrid assignment for your class and they make videos back, they can use those avatars, which also kind of you can customize to look like yourself. And it's very easy to do. So that's for between 2 and 4 in the morning when you really feel like having fun. But Janus, Kennedy's got a question, if you could maybe do the technical stuff. Thanks.
Okay, cool. What minimum megapixels do you recommend for a phone? In all honesty, I don't really know that, because megapixels is normally not the only thing that one goes on a phone, but any smartphone would sort of be enough. So I use a iPhone 6, and we've created Catania's video with so that video was created. That was created by using your phone and a selfie and one of those selfie lights. So this video, which is a bit darker, which I am going to redo at some point, I just need to ask Prof Cook nicely if he's got time. But that I did with a digital SLR camera. And as you could see, I mean, that's a lot darker. The setting, so granted my settings wasn't 100% correct, but your phone can actually make really good quality videos. And like I said, I did that with the iPhone 6. So I hope that sort of answers your question, but in terms of exact megapixels, I'm not sure. I did do that with the front camera though, because what Stephen said in terms of the scripting is very important. So I use that big view teleprompter to just add the script and then read from that. Yeah, and an iPad would also work, or any tablet. Okay, right. If there's I'll just going to ask, is there any more questions? Otherwise, I'm going to close the meeting.
Just Janus, where are we going to tell people to pick up the recording? Shall we start a channel on the faculty team? Or because if people are interested, I'm sure they'll want to look at it again. Yeah, so I think let's start a channel on the existing it's a remote learning site, right? Or what's it called? Yes. Okay. So we'll start a channel then, add it to that. Yes. I'll also add the PowerPoint and any other documentation that we have. We are also working on some guides for using the different software, but that won't be shared immediately. Okay, thanks so much for everyone joining. I hope you enjoyed the session. And next week's session, I don't have my program open now. So next week's session, sorry, I completely forgot to add that, is focused on, I think it's the, Shira, do you have just a reminder? Okay, so next week's session is focused, could COVID-19 be our, there's no alternative. So Tina article, so it's the Health Professions Journal Club that Prof. Cook is going to lead. So please join us for that session as well. And we'll share the, Shira, can you possibly share the link to the team site, the remote learning team site here? So Saber will, yes, I'll put it up right now. Add it to that team site. Okay, right, then we're done. Thank you so much everyone for joining, and I hope you have a good evening.